And our friends Bone Wheel Skeletons are here. These guys are evil, as you'll see. So you can just like... Sometimes you can actually lure him out of... So yeah, I'll cut it to when I've killed him, so I'll see you in a bit. Oh. And hello everyone, and welcome back to Let's Play Dark Souls. In the last episode, we finished off the catacombs. In this episode, so we're going to go all the way over to the depths, and that's going to be great fun indeed. And right off the bat, I'm going to spend some souls and probably get another pyromancer, because fireball is not that good. So I'm going to get fire orb. Maybe? Actually, no, John, I'm going to do, I'm going to upgrade my pyromancer flame a bit. Goodbye. I'm going to do it a bit. That's enough. Because I actually want to level up more so. For now, I'm good enough with, actually, I'll go up to 12 achievement. That should be good. Actually. No, I'll do that a bit later. I'm going to get vitality for the moment. I'm only going to get her till about 20 vitality, and I'm going to start leveling dexterity again. Well, I don't think I've leveled it yet. But like I said, there's planning to be a dex build eventually. But I'm leveling that last because I want to get everything else where I want it.
Oh please, as all.
But yeah, I want to just upgrade my pyromancy flame. In general, that just makes it so my pyromancies will be better. So that's good. I'm trying to think if there's anything else of note to talk about now that I've killed the pinwheel. Probably not. Nothing changes here of major note. I'm just going to quickly nab enough souls to level up my pyromancy flame one more time. Well, that reminds me, shouldn't... Nah, thingy shouldn't be here yet. That's after you bring the second Pelf Awakening, I almost forgot. It's nice to have enemies I can actually kill in one hit. I missed that. But it's about to go away again. Because I'm going to have to go into Blighttown, and that's not going to be fun. Blighttown is certainly the most infamous area in Dark Souls, for a lot of reasons. And hopefully I'll be able to demonstrate why. Although it's mainly the blooming frame rate. I swear, as long as Dark Souls 3 has a consistent frame rate, it'll probably be at least decent. Well, that's one of the only major flaws with this game. Although, people would say otherwise. Some people would be like, it's just trial and error. It's just too hard. It's like, yeah, that's a load of bollocks.
Wait, friends. Where are you off?
Oh. If anything, I'd say that that's one of the things that I really dislike, is that when people say that this game's like trial and error, or that you have to die a lot, or that you will die a lot. Don't get me wrong, I've died a decent amount of this playthrough, but I feel like I've died a bit more than average because I'm trying to concentrate on commentary and stuff, but... In general, as long as you're observant and careful, in general, nothing really sneaks up on you or anything. So, it's rare to actually have you actually die, like, a lot in one area. If you die, it's because you, for the most part, I'm not going to say this game is like 999.999% fixed. There are parts where it's like some enemies are just a bit unfair and some areas are a bit like unfair, but for the most part this game is pretty much decide your own fate. And even if you do die, you can just take that death as a lesson as to what you did wrong and just not make the same mistake again. It's not really too bad. Some people think it's like some ridiculous trial and error thing, like I want to be the guy or something, but it's nothing like that at all. I despise games like that. I really don't have the patience. I want to know what I've done wrong, and know before I do it, if that makes sense. Like, I want to understand, like, be able to understand the mechanics and win that way. Like, if I understand the game from a design's perspective, and I've just realized I'm going the wrong way, I should be able to outwit it in a way. I should be able to win if I know what I'm doing. And yeah, I just kindled the bonfire to 20 if you didn't notice, so I've got 20 Estus flasks, which is nice. Also, the fire gets way bigger. I mean, look at that. Massive fire now. But, yeah, if I actually try and understand the mechanics, and I do, and I've got the execution of the mechanics down and everything, like, if I know the controls, I know how to use them, and I understand, like, how the moves of my weapon work, and how my characters move, and I also understand, like, enemy patterns and stuff, I should be able to win. It shouldn't... I understand that some people like that sort of thing, but I don't like games that constantly try and trick you. and make you like think otherwise. Apart from like, exception might be when it does it mostly with puzzles. Like, I like La Mulana, because that thing is just basically like... A lot of people call it a 2D Dark Souls, but that's not really quite right. The only similarity is that it's difficult. But it's difficult in a completely different way. I mean, the combat isn't forgiving, but it's decently solid, but not as, like, deep. Because it's like a 2D Metroidvania-esque game. It's pretty simple combat. But the main thing is the puzzles. Because the puzzles are very much all, like, traps and stuff. You've actually got to try and expect the unexpected. And if you understand, and even then, if you understand La Mulana's logic, you're able to actually work out when something is obviously a trap. Like, there's some times in the game where it's like, oh, I've just got to do this now, and then doing that thing that you're normally in any other game you would do gets you killed. Like, the game's open about that. You learn very early on that that's the sort of game it's trying to be. So it's about translating its logic, and that's in a way similar to Dark Souls, but in the combat. That's the only way it's like similar. Because Dark Souls, it's very much... You've got to try and understand the moveset of the weapon you wield, how your character moves, all that stuff. You've got to try and get to grips with it. And you've got to take advantage of it. And you've got to use that, but also in conjunction exploring areas you've never explored, fighting enemies you never fought, and working out what they do without them killing you first. And it's very much a case of trying to, like, lure enemies out one by one, like so, you know. I like it, because it's rare games actually give you that level of agency, where it's very much... If you get yourself stuck in a corner with 50 enemies, like, clobbering you to death, most of the time that's because you did something wrong. You, like aggroed a bunch of enemies and then just ran yourself into a corner. Like, that's the problem with Dark Souls 2, is that it kind of puts you in these, like, scenarios that are difficult to win just inherently. It doesn't let you choose your own fighting, like your own like turf, so to speak. It doesn't let you choose where you're going to fight. It forces you into these scenarios where there's a bunch of enemies in the room. You walk in the room, they all aggro to you. You have to kill them. There's a lot of that. There's a lot less of that in this game, and even if there is, there's normally like level design to complement it. Like, you know, in the church, in the Undead Parish, where there's all those like really low level hollows. But they've got that hallway right before it. Ow. So if you're smart about it, you just slowly lead them single file down the hallway and poke at them like I do, and you're fine. But if you like run in there like a crazy person, the odds are you'll die. Oh. And I managed to get myself caught by the slime. So, yeah. And it's already 7 minutes into the episode, and I haven't even... Oh, wow. I normally avoid these relatively easily. But yeah, just mash to get out. Mash your bumpers and triggers to get out that faster. Yeah, and I'm going to get hit by this guy as well. No thanks. I'm not going to waste time kindling that. There's no point. Because I'm never going to use it again. And the first Blighttown bonfire isn't too far in, and if I've got 20 Estus, that's normally enough to last, like, an area. I could get through the whole of Blighttown with 20 Estus. But yeah, which is something that's always annoyed me, is that a lot of the impressions of people who played, just like, say, just played through Undead Burg and they quit out of frustration, or just, like, saw this game, or, like, heard about its reputation for being difficult, they have a lot of them have the wrong impression about it. And it doesn't help that a lot of people are always like, oh, Dark Souls, people who play Dark Souls are such masochists and stuff like that. I hate the sort of games where you're a masochist. Like masochistic games are really not my thing. I don't like stressing myself out, despite what people I know may say otherwise. I like games that reward intelligent play and thought and good decision making, and like, it rewards you trying to understand the mechanics. I like that. And sometimes that does get stressful when you think you know what you're talking about, and you get stuff wrong. Or when you do an input wrong on Street Fighter. But yeah, straight off the bat we got these guys, and then you're a pain in the butt. They got massive knockback, they got poison. At least you can backstab them. Oh, and you can stagger them as well. These are like infested barbarians or something. They are really dangerous, especially on this walkway. More importantly though, there are guys which shoot poison darts at you in this area. And actually, by poison, I mean toxic. And I've just realised I should have cut... Before I come here, I should have brought some moss. Well, this is going to be fun without moss. I kind of forgot to go get some moss. Well, if this area gives me too much trouble, I'll just cut it and go get moss. Although, at this point, if I'm brutally honest, I'm a bit kind of to record at the moment. Especially after that Catacombs episode took so long to finish. I recorded for like half an hour. But probably won't end up getting through the whole of Blighttown. I'm trying to take this slow because at some point there is a guy who shoots things at poison darts. And I do not want to get, well, toxic darts, like I said, I don't want to get toxic. Because that is basically asking to die. Your health ticks down very fast. And he can toxic you in like 1 or 2 darts depending on your resistance. And unfortunately, I mean literally resistance, like the stat resistance, and I have awful resistance in this stat. I'm almost tempted to put on like some armor that has just better poison resistance actually. Do I have any? Oh, I got one that has like 2 more. Ugh. And we get a dung pie, because these guys are disgusting. Oh, one thing I forgot. Dung pies actually give you a different strain of toxic. So you can actually avoid being toxicated by the dark guys if you throw a dung pie. Which is actually really useful. If you throw a dung pie, you get a small amount of toxic buildup. But because it's a different type of toxic, because like I said, there are different types of poison that tick down at different levels, also that's a grab, be careful of that. It actually won't, they won't be able to build up their version of toxic because you've got a different version of toxic building up. So if you're really desperate and you don't have moss, you can actually just get some dung pies and, yeah, oops. And you'll notice these guys are actually, some of these guys are actually wielding dead bodies as weapons, which is weird. Forgot their names, but they got a really weird name, I think. Oh yeah, there's one of the darts, as you can see. He's shooting. So we're going to try and get behind some cover over here and try and slowly... still not safe. Look how much that builds up, even on block. So you can imagine it's probably going to poison me in one hit if I actually get hit by it. Luckily, I'll make note, those dark guys are non-respawning enemies. Thank Jesus for that. Yeah, look at that. Also, no matter what, even if you're behind cover, they don't stop. Hell, even if you're point blank in front of them, they don't stop. I mean, look at them. Again, another bright side is they do guaranteed drop moss, I think, most of them. Yeah, I'm trying to make sure none of the enemies... Look, as you'll see, this is like smart play. You see, I could just rush around there and kill him. Then this guy would flank me. So I'm waiting until this guy comes over here. I'm like moving between bits of cover to avoid the dark guy. Like, you see what I mean? It rewards you thinking about these sorts of things. Like, I'm just going to check if... Okay, I nearly got hit there. Yeah, those guys don't seem to aggro. Yeah, he nearly poisoned me there. But yeah, you get some guaranteed moss. It's not always the moss that cures toxic, but in this area, any sort of purple moss is good. The red moss is useless, though. Don't bother with the red moss. There we go. Dead. I liked it better in... I think in Dark Souls 2, where there's one sort of moss that cures poison and toxic, which is infinitely less unfair. It seems like a very RPG thing to have, like... I nearly got grabbed there. To have, like, a pure... like, a thing that cures this really hard... status... I always forget status or status. Ailment to deal with. And have it be like a rare or a drop and stuff. It's a very RPG-esque thing, unfortunately. And occasionally, mostly Dark Souls isn't much of an RPG. Like, it doesn't have many rare weapon drops and stuff. Most of the stuff you can just get, which is good. I've always found that game design philosophy to be kind of iffy. That's why I hate... That's one of the reasons I don't like Borderlands and stuff like that. Or like Borderlands, I just think it's not a very good game for a lot of reasons. Mainly the fact that the actual shooting mechanics in the shooter are really bad. But that's kind of opinion. Although I feel like there's some of that. Some of it is kind of the reason I don't like Borderlands in games like that. Or Destiny. Some of it's personal opinion, some of it's a conflict in my game design philosophy, some of it's outright, there are some things I think that they do poorly, outright, like objectively. But again, I'm not exactly a game critic, so I'm not going to go too deep into that because, I don't know, I'm probably wrong about some stuff. Okay, now we're going to have to make this jump. Oh my god, I made it. I've never done that jump before because I always forget this item's here. The Aito. Now we have a glorious and Nippon steel. Hua! And this is the other katana you can get. It's not the katana the guy in Undead Burg has, but it's another one. It's like a slightly shorter one with a slightly different moveset. I'm not going to do the moveset on here because I'll probably like end up throwing myself off a cliff. But I've got to remember how I get down. Yeah, hop down here. Yeah, that's... Oh, and yeah, I forgot. We end up right next to the bonfire. Which is obviously convenient. So I think I'm just going to light that now. I don't need to kindle it, actually, because I don't plan on using up all my Estus before I get down to the second bonfire. Ugh. So I'll do a bit more, and then I'll just end it off. Because it's already quite far in. We're like 16 minutes, I think. Yeah, I don't think you can get over there. Don't really try. I don't think there's anything over there. Bit of an awkward jump. You also see up there. This is like the area you can see like from Firelink Shrine. I'm not sure if you can see Firelink Shrine from here. Definitely not from here, but this is like where you can see into. It's like a big dip in the whole world, basically. Very weird place, Blighttown. But that's one of the things I like about this game is that it's all interconnected and stuff. Also, I'm going to try and jump down. Yeah, the more you fall, the more damage your falling attacks will do. So it's actually a pretty nice option, all things considered. I've got to get this, don't I? At least I've just rested at the bonfire. Okay. I hate bits like this, because if I'm brutally honest, oh yeah, that's actually really useful. The platforming in this game is something to be desired. You can very easily just slip right off stuff. And unfortunately this area has a decent amount of it, and that combined with low frame rate and just general... Speaking of the devil. Yeah, that's a like shaky bridge, I think. And I'm really not sure how you're meant to deal with it. Sometimes you can just fall off. Oh my god. There's some people who can just walk... I used to be able to kind of just walk straight over these. But... Oh god, fire dogs. Okay, watch out for these. They're even worse than hitbox dogs. They're smaller, so they're harder to hit. They breathe really insanely high damaging fire, and you'll see there's already frame rate issues. You've got to kind of avoid looking at like the big part of the map to avoid the frame rate issues. You kind of have the camera situated elsewhere, which is really annoying. Especially like, yeah, these do really high damage fire attacks, really small hitboxes. On the bright side, they have really low health. But everything else about them is a pain. I'm trying to think how I get back up there. Because I don't want to go across that bridge again. But I want to, like... There's a bit I skipped. I might not be able to. Probably won't be able to. Yeah, I think I have to go back to show that bit that I skipped to get down to the Aito. So, I guess I'm quickly coming back across here. Yeah, but your best bet is just to be like zero risk and just stay right in the middle of the platform. Even then it can sometimes fail, but that's your best bet anyway. I just want to quickly show there's technically a part I skipped where I jumped over here to get the IO. There's a way to walk down here normally. I'll show that and then I'll end it off. Oh look, there's a human player. Suffer with me, my friend. I don't remember the frame rate being this bad when I came through this area for the first time. But I'm probably wrong. Wouldn't be the first time. But yeah, oh yeah, there's a ladder right here. Upsy daisy. Oh yeah, and for some reason some of these guys like to hide in barrels. Or technically like vases or something. Bam. Not sure if there's another dark guy around here. I hope there isn't. Whatever. Oh god, another thin bridge. But there's a couple items over here, yeah, this is one. Luckily, I think these guys are a bit less resilient than skeletons. Although, let's just quickly do that while he's being edgy and slowly walking towards me. What do you drop? Sold, lost, undead. Now, these guys don't drop anything particularly amazing, I'm pretty sure. Unfortunately, considering they're the most common enemy of this part of the area. They do pretty decent damage for having broken swords, so be aware of that. But they're generally pretty slow with their attacks and stuff, so not a massive threat. Although they do often come in pairs. So, you know. Try to avoid overwhelming yourself. But yeah, this is just like the way you get up here. You see, that's like where we were, blah blah blah, you just come down here. So there's one guy we left, that's weird. I don't remember leaving him alive. Oh well. I'm not gonna go out my way to kill him. He's just minding his own business. And I'm just minding mine. Such is the life of an undead. Oh yeah, that's how I got over here, right? I'm just trying to remember. There's an item up there, yeah. How do I get over there again? Oh, now I'm gonna get annoyed. I'm gonna have to work this out before I end this off. Because I remember it being weird to get over there. But I'm gonna quickly find out. Do you know what? I'm gonna end it off here, and the next episode hopefully we'll be over there with that item. So yeah. Join us in the next episode, where we'll be going through more of Blighttown, and hopefully not dying loads. Cross my heart. Hope to die. But yeah, until then, see you then.